Welcome to WesternSlopeNow.com. Meteorologist Russ Pappas here. There's your view. Standard. It is November 12th, 2021. It's about 3:45, Friday afternoon. Wrapping up a fairly decent week. You know, we had that storm system come in early in the week, put some rain in, and we've been working with clearing skies and slowly warming temperatures ever since. Cloud coverage still evident in the central mountains, and that'll be a repeat tomorrow afternoon as well. But for the most part, we're looking at a mostly clear pattern. Storm-free, hazard-free pattern as well. But if you get to the higher elevations above 9,500 feet, you're going to encounter some wind speeds, and the higher you go, the stronger the winds will be. So if you're driving over the mountain passes, you're going to encounter wind. If you're recreating on some of the ski resorts that have opened up, you're going to encounter the wind. If you're hunting, as long as you don't go above tree line and you're not too exposed, you will avoid the wind. And the lower elevations, just a light breeze. There's not much wind in the forecast. We're really just concerning ourselves with temperature changes. We're slowly warming things up. We're about 5 degrees warmer now than we were yesterday in some areas. Current temperatures at this recording, upper 50s. As far as the high temperatures go for this time of the year, while it's not official, we could squeeze out 1 more degree, but the sun goes down at 5 o'clock tonight, so we may be done. 57s across the board. That's a lottery number. That may be our high temperature for the day. Grand Junction is supposed to be 54. Montrose is supposed to be 53. And when I say supposed to be, that's just the seasonal average for this time of the year. We're going to do a little bit better tomorrow. As far as winds go, 5 to 15, that's pretty much the going profile through the weekend. Again, the higher you go, the windier it will be. Top wind gusts of the day, probably isolated. There you go, right at GWS and in Gunnison locally. We've had some fairly strong winds over Douglas Pass and Monarch Pass, as well as Loveland, Vale, Rabbit Ears, etc., etc. Now, let's talk about this morning. We were in the upper 20s. Now, Montrose has been nailing the low forecast. Grand Junction's been going colder with the low forecast. We're supposed to be 29 at Grand Junction this time of the year, 27 for Montrose this time of the year. So what you felt this morning, exactly how it should feel. Getting into tomorrow morning, these numbers might be a little too mild, in my opinion. So we're going to call it right around the 30-degree mark to start your day, Saturday morning. We also expect a little bit of cloud coverage to build in. By the afternoon hours, we'll see a little bit more sunshine, and that'll allow temperatures to get to the upper 50s. It'll be a hard go because I think we'll have some cloud coverage left over from overnight. The overnight clouds actually may help with our low temperatures. That's exactly the forecast reasoning. So those 30s and mid-30s, that's going to be complements of the cloud coverage moving in during the overnight hours and ahead of our next front. It's really not going to be an issue for us. The front that passes through is going to be primarily for the central and northern mountains to create a little bit more snow for them through Saturday afternoon. All the resorts are doing really well. In fact, all the mountain zones are picking up new snow. So we'll keep some of that cloud coverage in the forecast through early afternoon tomorrow, and then we'll get some clearing Saturday night. And again, it's all because of this front that's going to pass through. It's not going to lower our temperatures all that much, but it will increase the cloud coverage, and it's going to help enhance the wind speeds. And behind it in that northwest flow, continuing into Sunday and even into Monday, we're going to see some of these mountains, especially in the north, picking up some new snow. When you add it all up since Tuesday, yeah, we're getting a little bit here and a little bit there. And when you start calculating 4, 5, and 6 days worth, it certainly will make for a beautiful ski run, if you will. So slowly increasing temperatures all the way through Monday. I talked about Friday through Monday being our warming trend. And even into Tuesday, we do expect some unsettled weather for the middle of next week. But unfortunately, the storm system, the storm track, is still to our north. So it's not exactly a direct impact. I mean, we're going to get colder temperatures. We're going to get increased cloud coverage. We'll probably get breezy for late next week. But it does not appear that we're going to benefit from rain and or local snow. Now, the central mountains, the higher elevations, and the northern mountains will be picking up snow late next week. And they will have some colder temperatures for snow making purposes. Down low, for us, it's a mild run into the low 60s through the end of the weekend and the start of next week. And even our low temperatures do much better than the upper 20s. So they'll be getting into the middle 30s for Grand Junction, and they'll be getting into the middle 30s eventually for Montrose, but only briefly. So through the course of the weekend, I expect to see some cloud coverage building in from that weak little front that's passing through. It's only going to benefit the mountains, but we'll get cloud coverage. I don't even think we're going to get wind out of it. Our wind profile is still relatively weak. It's not until late next week that profile increases. Of course, the higher in elevation you go, the more impactful that front is going to be this weekend. So just be mindful if you're traveling, you're going to encounter some snow over the mountain passes. And of course, with these temperature fluctuations and the sunshine during the day, you're going to get a melt freeze situation going on. So just be mindful of your travels, what time of day you're traveling. I always like to advise travelers to pay attention when you're coming down a mountain pass. If you're doing it in the shade, then it's very likely that runoff, the melt from the snow on the side of the road, is going to freeze. So watch those turns, watch those corners. Try to travel over those mountain passes during the midday period when the sun is highest and more direct. Sunrise on Saturday morning is right around 6:50, 6:55. So our evenings are darker earlier. Our mornings are lighter earlier as well. Well, they're actually getting a little bit later ago, if you catch my drift.